Good afternoon. Welcome to Government Oversight Accountability. I am the chairperson, Councilwoman Donna Purvis. My co-chair, Anthony Piagentini, has an excused absence. I'm sorry. We are joined in chambers by Councilman Reed, Councilman JJ, Councilwoman Bass, Councilman Reno Weber. We are joined virtually by Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins. I'm sorry. You always sit by yourself. And as well as Councilman Liniger. Clerk, can you read the disclaimer, please?
This meeting is being held pursuant to KRS 61.826 and Council Rule 5A. Read in full.
Thank you. We have a few appointments today. The first one is reappointment of Jay Davison to the Criminal Justice Commission. Term expires.
I don't think you have the right one. We have Jeff Parrish. Let me give you mine.
Oh, you're right. I am so sorry. I don't. Please forgive me. Okay.
Number 2.
Okay. That's it? Just two?
No, they're all on the back. You're starting with number 2 because
Yeah,
it's
that's weird. Okay.
There you go.
All right. I also need to recognize Councilman Kramer, who has joined us in the chambers today. Are you done? Thank you. We're going to start with the reappointment of Jeff Parrish to the Greater Louisville Lodging and Management District Board. Term expires May 1st, 2028. I need a motion. Properly moved. Ms. Jackson?
So do you want, all of these are appointments, do you want to batch those?
There are 4 items 2 through.
Okay. So I have to read them all. Yeah. Yes, ma'am, we will do that. As my colleagues have already said, yes.
My apologies,
Okay.
Madam Chair.
The next one is the reappointment of Eamon O'Brien to the Greater Louisville Lodging Management District Board. Term expires May 1st, 2028. The reappointment of David Green to the Greater Louisville Lodging Management District Board. Term expires May 1st, 2028. And the reappointment of Samir Shah to the Greater Louisville Lodging Management District Board. Term expires May 1st, 2028. I need another motion. Do I need it? Okay.
We have a motion. We're good.
We have a motion. We can move on this. Ms. Jackson?
Okay, so the Althea Jackson, Mayor Greenberg's office. The Greater Louisville Lodging Management District Board provides financial economic improvement. One of their missions is to provide and finance economic improvements that specially benefits designated properties, lodging properties within Louisville Metro with a 51-room or more within the district is the purpose of this board. There are not more than 15 members on this board. There are 4 ex officio members. These members serve a 3-year term. There are 4 owners. So the ordinance is very specific. So there are 4 owners or their reps of properties of 150 rooms or more, 4 owners or their reps of properties that are 150 or less. The mayor has 2 appointees. The Louisville Tourism has 1. And then the executive committee sends the mayor nominating board members. Jeff Parrish is our first person. He was originally appointed in November of '23. He is the general manager at Marriott. He has 19-plus years of experience in the hospitality industry. Has been a dedicated and committed board member. We are asking for his reappointment. He is on the call to reintroduce himself to you and answer any questions you may have.
Mr. Parrish, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, I apologize. Yeah, so Jeff Parrish, pleasure to meet you all. Joined the board a couple of years ago. And like Althea said, I've been in the hotel industry for 20 years. I've been in the Louisville area for the majority of that. It's been great being on the board and kind of seeing the inner workings of what this committee is looking to gain and drive revenue through the city. So happy to hear any questions you all might have.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Parrish? Councilman Kramer?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Ms. Parrish. Thanks for your work on the committee, or the commission thus far. I'm curious, I'm sure that as the managing member at Marriott, you recognize the benefit that organizations like the Ironman bring to Louisville.
Absolutely.
Great. It's my ongoing challenge to help folks recognize that while those are great opportunities for you in the hotel industry, those opportunities are actually an expense for Metro Louisville. While the Ironman is here, we have to pay police, often on overtime. We have to make sure ambulances are available, often on overtime. And there are any number of other activities that have to take place in Louisville in order to host such an event. Ironman does not pay us to come. No part of the entrance fee that an athlete pays comes to Louisville. And yet they stay in our hotels, and we allowed a number of years ago that the hotel industry be able to increase the amount of money that they generate, or that they collect as people come to town. I'm curious if you would share with us how those conversations on the board have gone over the past couple years when it came time to discuss the appropriate role of the lodging management district in helping Louisville cover the expense of some of these very big programs, projects that you guys bring to Louisville. And again, don't let anybody misunderstand and think I'm suggesting I'm not happy the Ironman comes. I regret that they haven't been here for 4 years now? We've not hosted the Ironman for a couple years. My sincerest hope is they come back. It's awesome. But there is an expense that the city takes on, and I'm curious, and I know you guys are aware that this is an issue for us. I know that it's been before your board. I'm curious from your perspective what those conversations look like at the board in terms of what your organization can help us do to offset the cost of some of these big programs that we bring to town that benefit the hotel industry.
So specifically regarding the Ironman, I'm not sure when that board meeting was. I joined this board, I believe, 2 years into its inception. So if they were part of my attendance, I apologize. I wasn't a part of those discussions.
Off the hook on that one.
Yeah, I don't know the answer. I could find out. I'd
No,
be
that's
happy
fine.
to.
No, that's fine.
But again, I think your question, I think, is slightly in the realm of potentially also not in the conversation of what we discussed. The discussion is solely driven around driving revenue to the city. Again, I understand your ancillary costs, just like the hotels, right? When we have citywides, there's commissions, there's fees, there's all things that are generated as part of that. But also, if room nights are driven by Ironman, taxes are driven at some point. How that's allocated to the city, that's not really something that we would oversee. But I do understand the question and respect that. Again, I think the way you look at that is the way any hotel operator would look at a piece of business or a citywide event. So valid questions. And if there's certain data we can get to you specifically regarding an Ironman conversation, I'd be happy to look into that.
Thank you, Mr. Parrish. My question really isn't so much about Ironman. I was using it only as an example. And your answer leaves me with a different question. I am aware that part of what you guys are doing is looking at opportunities to bring folks to Louisville to, obviously, your goal is to fill hotel rooms. My question is more on the flip side of that. Once this lodging management district board has generated the revenue, it's my understanding that your board determines what to do with the revenue that's been generated.
Correct.
My question is directly to that. At what point does the board, I guess I'm asking you specifically, at what point do you recognize that this board has an obligation, not just to the hoteliers? I get that you have that obligation, but an obligation beyond just the hoteliers, that there is an obligation when you bring folks in and drive up the cost for Louisville. And we can get into the tax discussion later if you want to, but I'm just telling you, we don't get sales tax. Metro Louisville doesn't collect a room tax. Say what you will about driving taxes, it really doesn't do a whole lot for taxes. You guys in the hotel industry, you employ the number of people you employ. You could make an argument that you guys would have to lay off if we didn't have these kinds of things coming in, and therefore we wouldn't collect as much money from your employees in terms of taxes. But, if we're honest with each other, that's not a terribly big number. So, in the grand scheme of things, as opposed to the dollars and cents that your board actually not just generates, but appropriates. So my question is, what responsibility do you, as a member of this board, think this board has to help Metro Louisville offset some of the expense?
Again, I think these are all operators and owners, so that is at the forefront of every discussion. I've not been a part of any board meeting that would be contrary to that. So it's top of mind. Again, we look at good pieces of business, good things to spend, and there's also ones that don't make any sense. You could bring in $1. That doesn't always mean it's a great idea to bring to your city for variable reasons. But that's at the forefront of every conversation. And again, I think being a part of this, you get perspective of downtown East End ownership, management, Convention and Visitors Bureau. And I think you've got a lot of professionals on here, and they keep that front of mind.
Thank you.
Councilman Reed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Councilman Kramer covered just about everything that I wanted to say. And not to pick on the Iron Man, but I'm going to pick on the Iron Man. The misrouting of traffic along the River Road corridor really did affect some of the businesses along that area. And I had people that were contacting me, asking me what kind of thought went into it. So I just wanted to state for the record that, and even though you may not have anything to do with it, and you probably don't, that more thought needs.
Thankfully, I don't get in the mix of traffic.
No, so
You can blame me if you like. but
So
don't
I
get
just
in the
wanted
mix
to
of
go on record as saying that more thought needs, if we do get this back, and I don't know what their future plans are, but if we do get it back, that more thought needs to go into it moving forward. So that's it. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Okay, Ms. Jackson?
Our next reappointment, do you need to vote on this one? Or you do it all at one time? Okay. Our next nominee for reappointment is Mr. Eamon O'Brien, and he is with the Omni Louisville Hotel. He is the chair of this board. He has 20-plus years of experience in the hotel business. He has led strategic revenue initiatives for hotel operations, and I can go on and on. He is here in the chambers, and he can speak for himself.
Thank you, Council. Thank you for letting me speak this afternoon or early evening. If I may I address Councilman Kramer and Councilman Reed's question? Is that okay? Is that okay? Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good to see you.
Just good to see you. Thanks again for helping me out a few years ago.
Thank you. To answer that question, and thank you, Iron Man, as an example for a larger question, right? So yes, I think I stood right here a few weeks ago or months ago. My time is flying by a little bit. Our budget was recently approved. Our fiscal year, as we know, operates, starts July 1. We are close. We have not presented it to the board yet for approval. We are very close. Conversations have happened because we looked you in the eye and said we are going to happen. Deputy Mayor Baton is in those conversations, Mayor Greenberg as well, about how we can get a proposal that makes sense for under the prism of, or under the umbrella, I'll call it, of tourism infrastructure. I think to alleviate some of these concerns, to help not just, as we believe it's a strong net positive, as I think you do too, but at the same time there are costs associated with that. So what can we do for what we're calling our legacy accounts. Ironman is in that conversation, but things that have been committed to Jefferson County for decades rather than a onesie, twosie, sorry for the jargon there, but instead of those one-offs, things that have been committed to our community, what can we do to show our commitment mutually to those as customers as well as the constituents of Jefferson County? So we are very close. We're not there yet. We're going to present it to our finance committee hopefully soon. But I'm committed to doing that. I'm not going anywhere. I've been in Louisville since 2013, been in this business over 20 years, so understand the importance of relationships, the importance of doing the best we can to do what we say we're going to do, and we're committed to doing that. We are very close. We're even closer than last time we sat in this chamber. So hopefully that answers the question. Hey, Ironman, I take River Road. I used to take River Road every day. I'm thankful that Ironman came and opened it for 3 weeks. So from my understanding, so I'm thankful to see River Road for the first time in a year and a half, but I understand the point. So thank you for that. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm happy to answer any of the questions that you may have.
I'm going to be like my predecessor, the chair of this committee. Just jump in whenever you want to ask a question. Sure.
Thank you, and thank you for your response. I really appreciate that, and I'm grateful that you addressed it before I had to ask it. I will be asking the other two folks the same question, just so you know. Sure. We're all on the same page. That I appreciate your role as chair, and I'm really grateful to hear your comments. My hope is that this extends to every individual that serves on that board, and so I want them to have an opportunity to at least hear the question and to understand where I'm coming from. At the same time, I will say to my colleagues, and how much I appreciate your response, my intent was to vote present on all 4 of these, so I could have a little bit more time between now and Thursday. Given the answer that you've just shared, and I will wait till I hear from the other 2, but for the first 2, my intent is to go ahead and vote yes. I am looking forward to the report that you can bring back. And I do appreciate that you and I have had more than one conversation where we've been able to be very honest and open with each other. Sure. And I appreciate the work you guys are doing. I really do. But as you know, I would love to see us continue to work towards and do even better at sharing in some of the benefit. So thank you again. That's our goal too, so thank you. I do appreciate your work. Thanks.
I apologize, I didn't recognize Councilwoman Paula McCraney has joined us in the chambers as well. Are there any other questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. O'Brien.
Thank you.
So our next person is not, he is out of the country. He's out of town, so I'll be presenting on his behalf. I can't answer the questions on his behalf, but I will present on his behalf. And it's David Green. He is a hotelier with White Lodging Services. He's been on the board since 23. He has over 30 years of experience in the hotel industry. He has expertise in contract negotiations, developing sales growth. He is skilled in all aspects of the hotel business. I believe he is still at the Marriott as well. We would like to move forward on his reappointment, even though he is not, was unable to be here tonight. Okay, the next one is Samir Shaw. He is the owner of KAC Enterprises. He is a managing partner with several hotels around the city. He is here in Chambers, so I'll let him come and introduce himself to you and tell you a little bit about himself.
Good evening, council member. Thank you for giving me time to present myself. My name is Samir Shah, and I came in Louisville in 2008, and I'm here from last 18 years, and I'm owner of multiple hotels over here, with some of the hotels in the Louisville metro area only. I'm ready to take your questions, sir, and you, everybody.
Councilman Kramer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This similar or same question, I'll use less words this time. The question is essentially this. I know that the Greater Louisville Lodging Management District Board both generates and spends revenue. So we'll start there. I'm happy to know that you all are doing what you can to attract new folks. That's awesome. I'm curious, like your take on what's the responsibility of this board to help defer the expenses that are created by the programs that you're bringing to Louisville.
Sir, as your thinking was very correct, that as an Ironman, or we are getting it, our main thing is economy development and getting a business to Louisville, but the city is also spending the money on behalf of us. And so we have to think on that side that we have to present yourself also when we are sitting in the board, that we'll do that thing for sure, and we'll discuss it out.
Great, thank you. And it's important to me, Madam Chair, if it's okay, it's important to me in this environment especially, to make sure when I'm introducing or interviewing members of the board, that you hear this from us, right? It's one thing for you to be in a boardroom somewhere having that conversation. If no one says to you as you're starting in this work how important this is, then it can easily become overlooked. I appreciate where you're coming from. Please know, and I'm sure, Eamon will point out, I will continue to pay attention, and I'm hoping that we can see results. And the more you guys are aware of what we're expecting, I think the better our hope is of attaining those goals. So thank you for your service.
Appreciate everybody. Thank you for presenting.
You
me.
bet. And then there may be other questions.
Thank you. Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's good.
I am so sorry. Councilman Liniger has a question.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes.
I'll take your question.
Thank you for being here and for volunteering your service. I was curious if you could speak to the health of the lodging industry for smaller lodgings that you represent.
Smaller hotels we present. Yes, it's basically, yes, it is a more benefited to the bigger hotels, but even because the hotels are being filled out, bigger one, and that's the reason the overflow goes to the smaller ones. Like think on Derby, that yes, the smaller hotels are not being marketed that well, like when you think of Omni or some other hotels or for the Ironman, but the smaller hotels get all of the time the overflows. Like if there is a 30,000 rooms to be needed, Omni cannot give all the 30,000 rooms to the people who are coming in the town.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think that concludes the reappointments to that board. We are ready to vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Our next item on the agenda is the appointment of Marsha Dahl to the Louisville Regional Airport Authority. Term expires July 15th, 2028. I need a motion. Thank you. Ms. Jackson?
So the purpose of the Louisville Regional Airport Authority Board is that they shall,
Althea, wait, hold on one second. Do you want to take these two together, 6 and 7 together? They're both appointments, both the same
Yeah.
expiration date.
We can.
Okay.
One second. I'm sorry? The next person to be appointed to that board is Michael Ward to the Louisville Regional Airport Authority. Term expires July 15th, 2028. So we'll do those together.
okay. So the purpose of the Louisville Regional Authority, Airport Authority is to establish, maintain, operate, and expand the airport and air navigation facilities. There are 11 members on this board. That's including the mayor and/or his representative. There are 7 members are appointed by the mayor, 3 are appointed by the governor, and they do serve a 4-year term. Marsha Dahl has lived in Louisville for around 9 years. She is replacing a board member that has completed her terms and could not be reappointed. She is the CFO with Churchill Downs. She has 40-plus years of global financial services experience along with manufacturing and insurance. She has an expertise in strategic planning and implementing operational processes. She is here in Chambers. I'll ask her to come and introduce herself and just tell a little bit more and answer any questions that you may have.
Hello, everyone. I'm Marcia Dahl. Thank you for considering my nomination.
Are there any questions for Ms. Dahl? Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next person is Mike Ward. He has lived in this city for 40-plus years. Many of you probably know him from being around. He is the owner of a consultant business. He has been the Associate Director for Volunteer Support with the U.S. Peace Corps, a member of Congress, 3rd Congressional District. He was a state representative, and he has served on a variety of boards in this city. I'll ask him to come and just introduce himself, reintroduce himself to you all.
I'm delighted to be here tonight and appreciate your all's consideration, and we would be delighted to answer any questions.
Mr. Ward, I had a really good conversation with you over the weekend. I was so impressed with your knowledge on the airport authority and everything that's affiliated with it. So I'm just going to say from the conversation that I've had with you, I think you will be a great pick for this board.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Does
And I like that it's been conflated down to 40 years living here. Makes me feel young. It's a hell of a lot longer than that.
Does anyone have any comments or questions for Mr. Ward? Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you. So we can now vote. All those in favor of the appointments, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. The next appointment is appointing Charles Cassis to the Police Merit Board. Term expires June 1st, 2029. Can I have a motion, please? Properly moved. Ms. Jackson?
So this board was established to classify and examine applicants seeking employment as officers of the police force of the consolidated local government. This excludes any positions for chief, assistant chief, and officers above the rank of captain. The board, except when prohibited, shall promulgate rules and regulations not in consistence with the KRS. This board has 5 members. They are appointed by the mayor and approved by council, and they serve a 4-year term. There are also 2 members that are appointed by the FOP to serve. Mr. Charles Cassis is replacing a member who resigned because they moved out of the county. Mr. Cassis has lived in Jefferson County for about 35 years. He is an attorney as well as a managing member at his firm. He's here in chambers. He'll introduce himself and answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, members of the council. Chuck Cassis, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
If you have any questions, just go ahead and ask Mr. Cassis.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and vote on his appointment. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. The next one is appointing Ronald Carmichael to the Riverport Authority Board. Term expires July 31st, 2028. The next one is appointing William Summers V to the Riverport Authority Board. Term expires July 31st, 2028. Can I get a motion, please? Properly moved. Ms. Jackson?
So the Riverport Authority was established to maintain, operate, and expand necessarily with the Riverport and the River Navigation Facility to acquire and develop property within the economic environs of the Riverport to attract river-oriented industry. So this board has 6 members. all appointed by the mayor, and they serve a 3-year term. So Mr. Carmichael, this is a reappointment for him. He's been a lifelong resident. He is a consultant with for construction projects. He has been in the construction and development industry for 50-plus years. He's been the chair of a variety of boards. He's been a dedicated member to this board, and we are asking for his reappointment. He's here in chambers. He'll reintroduce himself to you.
Madam Chairperson, members of the council, appreciate you considering my reappointment, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Carmichael?
It's listed as an appointment, not a reappointment.
It should be a reappointment.
Is William Summers the fifth a reappointment as well?
Both of them are reappointments.
Okay, great. Yeah, but they should both be reappointed. I thought that was true. I appreciate the work you've done on the water, on the riverfront, on the River Port Authority Board. I think as you know from your work on that board, there's a lot that goes on down in Riverport that often gets overlooked.
Yes.
And the work that you guys do to draw more business there and to help people recognize what a gem that is very much appreciated. I'm sure that my friends in the Southwest would have even more to say about it than I do, but I really do appreciate the work that you guys do there, so thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. There's a lot of opportunities in front of us down there, and there's, I feel like we have an excellent board, and like everything else, we have some challenges, but I've been in the construction and development, so I've been a resident of Louisville for 54 years, and I'm excited and committed to spend another 3 years to help expand the facility.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
And I can say it's nice to see the faces behind a lot of hard work, so thank you for what you do. Are there any other councilmen? JJ?
Thank you. Hey, just want to say thank you for your service with Riverport, and as one of the council members that represents this area, if there's ever anything that we can do, I say we, I'm speaking on your behalf too, I would assume, with Councilwoman Bass, please let us know how we can assist you all further. I think it's important that we have a great relationship between the Riverport Authority as well as with Municipal Council, so please let us know how we can help.
Okay, thank you very much.
If there aren't any other questions or comments, we can vote on this reappointment. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We do have one more. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
I'll be in touch, okay? Thank you for being here. So the next one is William Summers V. He is a lifelong resident. He's a senior VP with Republic Bank. He has expertise and experience in management, organizational development and project management, strategic planning, and he is really good with community relations. He's been a dedicated member to this board. We just asked to move forward with his reappointment.
Okay. He's not here to answer questions, so we're ready to vote on both of them. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. Our last appointment is appointing Myra Rock to the Transit Authority, River City. Term expires August 31st, 2028. I need a motion. Properly moved. Ms. Jackson?
So the purpose of TARC, the Transit Authority of River City, is to promote and develop mass transportation. Myra has lived in Jefferson County for about 12 years. She is the Chief of Staff with Simmons College of Kentucky. She has 20-plus years of experience as an executive in higher education, healthcare, and community development. She's volunteered and served on various boards throughout her career. We are asking to move forward with her appointment. She is here in the chambers to introduce herself and talk a little bit about, or answer any questions that you may have.
Good evening, council. Thank you for that introduction. As Althea mentioned, my name is Myra Rock. I serve as Chief of Staff at Simmons College of Kentucky. I'd like to thank you for considering this appointment, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Councilman Reed?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for coming. We all know that TARC has had its issues and its challenges over the past several years. And some of that, to me, is attributable to, in my view, a lack of solid board oversight, going back to the executive director 2 times ago. And my question to you is, what specific skill set do you think that you bring that would help TARC from an operations standpoint, a planning standpoint, a forward-thinking standpoint to get us past some of these current challenges?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I look forward to onboarding onto the committee, onto the board, but I think that I bring years of experience in planning, organizational planning across the sectors, as well as planning and community development. I am a forward-thinking leader, and so I look forward to bringing that to the board as well. And I think this is just my opinion. You know, TARC knows where it's been and kind of where it is today. TARC knows who it's been and who it is today. I look forward to onboarding and helping the board and the organization frame where TARC will be tomorrow and who TARC will be tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. And, you know, it's been my experience in talking to some board appointments, or, you know, past and somewhat present, that some of them have been reluctant to speak out in these meetings. I'm hopeful that when you get on this board, that you'll be vocal and you'll make your feelings known, and that you'll be outspoken when you think that it's appropriate, not in an ostentatious way or anything like that. But I think that we need, you're more than qualified, no doubt about that. I think we need good, solid people that will help them and help steer them. And it's been my experience in the past in talking to people on the board that they've been reluctant to do that. I don't know why. But this is such an important, in my opinion, one of the most important boards that we have. Mm-hmm. So, assuming that you're affirmed, I'm sure you're going to be. It's just my challenge and hope is that when you get there, that you will speak your mind and offer good, solid, constructive advice, criticism. I mean, clearly you're very qualified in your position at Simmons. I know you probably do that there as well. So that's all I have to say. I'm going to get off my soapbox here. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I'll respond to say I consider it my service to the public to speak up and represent.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
1 second, please. I have to agree with Councilman Reed. The issues at TARC have been because the board members have been really reluctant to be board members. And TARC has had a lot of problems that could have been resolved if people had the courage to do what they're supposed to do. So I don't want to see another board that lets the executive director run the agency. The agency should be guided by the board. So just wanted to say that if anything comes back our way, we will call you into question because TARC has been so problematic. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you for that feedback, Councilwoman Purvis.
All right. Councilman Reno Weber.
Funny that was the line of questioning or inquiry that my colleagues raised, because one of the things that I wanted to say was how excited I was to see your name on this board, because I know that you have been a relentless speaker of truth to power, even when that has been to your detriment. Having had the pleasure of working with you in a number of contexts, particularly focused on innovation as it relates to access to the systems that are essential to the basic dignity of everyone in our community. You and TARC are a wonderful match, and I very much look forward to your contributions to that. So thank you for taking on yet another burden for our city, and very much grateful and believe that you will continue to be that voice even when that is difficult. So thank you.
Thank you for that. I'm happy to serve.
Are there any other questions or comments? Okay. Councilman Leininger?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to echo, a very impressive resume, and we appreciate your service to the city. Are you familiar with the TARC redesign plans?
I have been shared the redesign plans, but I really look forward to doing a dive into them once appointed.
Okay. Specifically, have you had a chance to look at the growth model that is beyond the current redesign and part of, possibly what TARC is looking at going forward?
Not a deep dive, but I
Okay.
look forward to it.
All right. With your understanding of TARC currently, do you believe that TARC needs new sources of revenue in order to support the community's needs?
I think that serving the community requires revenue. We all know that across the facets, so I'm sure, but I look forward to jumping in and digging in.
Sure. And again, it's a very impressive resume. You live in District 19, and with the current state of TARC service in our city, I assume that you are not a regular TARC rider.
That's correct, I am not.
Yeah. I'm not going to hold it against you personally. I would like to, put on my Councilman Piagentini hat and advocate for the administration to bring us nominees for this board that do have ridership experience, especially people who are obligate users, daily users, because I think that is something that we should see more of on the board. For all of our boards, the people who are directly impacted by their use, especially for something like TARC. But thank you.
You're welcome. And if I may respond, I am not a direct user of TARC, but I can say that I have spent the last 5 years representing constituents in healthcare and education that are absolutely reliant upon public transportation to achieve health outcomes, education outcomes, and social and economic prosperity. And so my commitment to this board is to represent my students at Simmons College of Kentucky who are currently reliant upon the TARC transportation system, and not just to get to school, but to get to their medical appointments as well as the entire community. And so I do appreciate your thought. I also probably bring more of a personal connection than may meet the eye. So I look forward to serving.
And again, thank you, and I appreciate that. I do think that there is something to be said for direct experience not mediated through others. But again, like I said, I'm not holding it against you, just asking for that consideration going forward for this board. Thank you.
If there aren't any other comments or questions, we're ready to take a vote. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the last item on the agenda is a conversation that we are going to have with the tow lot. And who is here to speak on behalf of the tow lot? You will go to the podium and identify yourself, please.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairperson. I am Lieutenant Colonel Corey Robinson, Assistant Chief of Police, Louisville Metro Police Department. And I am over the Administrative Bureau for the Police Department.
Lieutenant Colonel Robinson, will you be answering all of the questions, or will the gentleman that you have with you answer any of the questions?
I do have Mr. Matt Slater with me.
Is he directly at the tow lot?
He works directly at the tow lot, so if there's something specific about like something analytics or some numbers or something that I don't have readily in front of me,
I would prefer that
he not be here?
No, I would prefer that he stands up with you and answer questions. Yeah, and identify yourself, please, sir.
Well, come on up here with me, Mr. Slater.
No, he's not going to get that lucky.
All righty.
But if you want to go ahead and open up and share something before we ask questions, you feel free to do so.
Yes, ma'am. Just before we got started, one of the council persons had asked about like our auction process, for instance, and whether it was online or live. And so things like that, like if I don't have something readily where I have to flip through it just for efficiency's sake, he might be able to answer that quicker. So the Louisville Metro tow lot that we call the vehicle impoundment unit, that's something we use those words interchangeably, currently consists of one lieutenant that's over the tow lot. We have we have one supervisor, one we just hired, so we now have two supervisors. And we have 11 tow lot drivers. We have one administrative clerk or administrative person, and then we have 4 tow lot attendants. So that's what makes up the tow lot. It's on Frankfurt Avenue. What's the address down there? 1487 Frankfurt Avenue, and it currently is it's the only place that that when we have a car that goes for impoundment, that's where it goes. We also just renewed a contract with Suburban Tow in January of this year for a 4-year renewal. It was put out for proposal. Suburban won that contract, and they will augment whatever we can't handle from a tow perspective. They help us out there.
Can you talk about, since you mentioned Suburban, can you talk about vehicles that Suburban picks up that are not claimed? Who takes ownership of those vehicles?
So not claimed as in like at the time they're impounded or towed or?
Yes, sir, at the time that they're impounded.
So if Suburban is, so a scenario would be an officer is on the scene where they need a tow. If all the tow drivers are occupied or we just don't have enough drivers at that moment, it could be for run volume, it could be there's a large accident. For different reasons, all of our resources may be stretched, then we would defer to Suburban right now that goes through Metro Safe. They would contact Suburban. Suburban, whatever they hook, or I'm using that word generically, whatever they hook up, they would take to their own impound lot. They're off the outer loop. With the exception of if there's something that, like if there's an investigation, let's say there's let's say major crimes or something where that vehicle has some kind of direct nexus to something where LMPD is going to place an investigative hold, then it would come to our tow lot.
So Suburban is contracted on behalf of the city to pick up vehicles. And just like the city, there are vehicles that stay for a period of time. You have to move those vehicles so you have an auction, right?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
So how is Suburban handling vehicles that they've had for a period of time that need to be auctioned off? For example, say they may have 10 vehicles. Are they contacting you and say, hey, these vehicles have been here a certain amount of time. I'm going to bring them over to your tow lot to have them auction off, or are they doing their own auctioning of these vehicles?
So my understanding is they are, if that period of time has exhausted, Suburban will then take ownership of the car. Now, what they do at that point, I don't know how their auction process works, whether they're selling them for, I don't know if they're selling for scrap or auctioning them off, but they do not come back to us at that point.
So Suburban is picking up cars on behalf of Louisville.
Yes, ma'am.
Once this time expires, they get to do whatever, sell them, scrap them, and they keep the proceeds?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
That begs the question, do we know what that revenue is? And also, some of that is a car that might have been in an accident and somebody just doesn't ever come back. But some of that is like abandoned cars that we mark as abandoned, LMPD marks as abandoned, and then Suburban may take it and it may sit on Suburban's lot for a while. I'm curious, 2 things. How much revenue is being generated when they sell those cars? And I'm also curious, just because there is a balance here, right? when we hold cars on the tow lot, on LMPD's tow lot, there is an expense involved in that. And so when someone comes to pick their car up after X number of days, they have to pay a fee for every day that it was being held there.
Yes, sir.
I'm assuming the same is true at Suburban. I'm wondering if the fees at Suburban are similar to the fees at our own tow lot. And then when Metro Louisville gets to the point of having a car on our tow lot for X amount of days and we sell it, how often do we get enough out of the sale of that car to cover what those fees would have been if the owner had picked it up? And then the same is true for Suburban. I'm curious to know, I asked that question because I'm curious to know if there's a vast difference between what happens with LMPD's tow lot and Suburban. I suspect they're probably pretty similar, but I'm asking just to see.
Okay, so let's see. Right now, we average, it's an average number, around 25 cars, between 18 to 25 cars a day. That number can vary just a bit. Suburban averages about 20 cars daily on their lot. We do not use Suburban for any of our, what's the word to use for it? Like if we have a detail, like a special detail, let's say when you mentioned Ironman before, we don't use them for details like Ironman,
Right.
our Derby festivals, the St. James Art Fair, street sweeping, street cleaning, those type of things. If we have details for our this crime prevention that we've stood up for entertainment district, those type of events where we want that to be represented by us, and so we would be very reluctant to use Suburban in that scenario. It typically is sometimes just clear the roadway, for instance. So not every time we utilize them is it for a tow. We do use them for the biggest majority of our service at Suburban that we just don't have the capacity to handle more than anything else. The large percentage is large vehicles. You know how many axles that is?
Anything over 10,000 pounds.
See, things like that I wouldn't know offhand. Anything over 10,000 pounds, but it goes there. We don't have the Frankfurt Avenue facility couldn't take that type of weight. So it defaults to them automatically. So oftentimes if we have something like on the one of our interstates where it's like, let's say an overturned semi, something to that nature, it's going to be Suburban regardless. So there wouldn't be an alternative. So the majority of our business with Suburban has to do with the large vehicles. And then other entities in Metro government, such as Metro Facilities, so that has everything they have is large vehicles. We would defer to Suburban because we don't have the capacity to take it. The tow lot currently is not, I don't know if zoned is the right word. You wouldn't be able to bring it on the lot because of the infrastructure there wouldn't be able to maintain the weight. That's how it was explained to me.
So to the question, what about the rates? Are they comparable? Does what we charge at the tow lot, is that comparable to what Suburban is charging people to come get their cars back?
Yes, sir. It is the same rate. So those rates,
Okay,
yes, sir.
great.
Those rates, when we put out the proposal, it's stated in there that they will, and there's a lot of language in that. I don't have the proposal in front of me. But yes, the rates would be the same. Even the ordinance that I was here a couple months back that we made some adjustments to on the stolen car ordinance, even things like that, they have to be consistent with the city and be in compliance.
Good.
So that way there's a consistency for the community.
Good. And when they are at the point that they take ownership of the car, we have the same opportunity. When we look at them taking ownership of the car and then selling it for scrap or however they do it, however they generate revenue, are the revenues that they're generating at that point similar to the revenues that we're generating? And I don't mean necessarily like, do you match exactly, but if they sold 10 cars and we sold 10 cars, are we close, or how does that look?
I have not seen Suburban's books to answer that accurately, but are you able to speak to Suburban's revenue that they get on their sales?
Not on theirs. I don't know about the guys' number of week, but I don't know about them now.
Let's see.
From what I've been told, Suburban can't.
I might have that here if you give me just a moment.
Well, that's fine. If you could just get it back to us at some point.
I can get that to you. Yes, sir. I can get that to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
So Lieutenant Colonel Robinson, I've been told that your tow truck drivers are bringing in a few hundred cars a month, and Suburban is bringing in a few thousand. I don't know the exact number, but can you just confirm that Suburban is towing more than your 11 tow truck drivers?
I'll get that information for you and confirm that.
Okay. And also, I looked at the contract through procurement, and it looks like an evaluated contract, but pricing was not on there. So it looks like Suburban has a blank check in addition to making money off of cars that they are towing. So I don't know who helps write the contract. I don't know if this is a procurement thing, but this is problematic because Suburban, it seems like they're making a lot of money off of us. Go ahead, sir.
If I may, Madam Chair, follow your first question. That's a good, I am curious to note, what percentage of cars that are being towed by us versus by Suburban? And again, I am grateful that we are in the contract because I remember a time when there was an accident and we didn't have any way to move it, and it was the tow lot capacity. It had nothing to do with our drivers. It had everything to do with the fact that tow lot wouldn't hold any more cars. And so we were literally just parking cars on roads. We were just moving them out of the way. And this contract has allowed that Suburban has actually taken the burden off of the tow lot in that regard, which I'm grateful for. But I think the councilwoman asks a really valid question. And I'm curious to know, once you give me the answer to that question, I want to follow up immediately, so I'm going to ask it right now. How much of that disparity is caused by the fact that Suburban is more anxious to tow cars because there's a profit in it for them versus how much of that is because we still don't have the capacity at the tow lot that we need? So two questions. First, what's the breakdown? Does Suburban tow more than us? Or do we tow more than Suburban? And if they tow more than us, I'm curious to know, and I don't need an exact number right this minute, but I'm curious to know, is it like double what we do, or is it like we tow 10, they tow 14, right? I'm curious what that looks like, and then secondly, why? Are they towing more than us? I suspect they're towing more, right? That's what I heard you say. I suspect they're towing more than us. I'm curious, are they towing more because of profit, or are they towing more because our tow lot just doesn't have the capacity?
Okay. I'll get that for you. Back to the charge.
Do you have a sense of that, either of you?
You can step right here.
Councilman. So right now, any.
Excuse me, can you identify yourself, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Officer Matthew Slater. I'm a vehicle impoundment officer, and I am out at the lot every day. I'm not a driver, I'm in the office, so I have a little bit of know-how on what goes on. Right now, any vehicle that is involved in a non-fatal accident, non-serious injury collision is towed by Suburban Towing. They get all of the regular accident vehicles. We mainly, and then we also share arrest tows with them. We do the abandons. We do anything that has a hold on it comes out to us because it goes to our hold lot. And then we also do arrests and we do parking tows also. So I don't have the exact numbers. I know Suburban does probably do it, and one is because we have no space. We're 600 cars over capacity right now at our tow lot.
So I'm happy to hear that we're doing the abandoned.
Yes.
And there's a reason I'm happy about that.
Yes.
Because if that car's abandoned, in all likelihood, that's going to become our property in a short period of time because we changed the ordinance so that you could take it more quickly, which means that you can scrap it more quickly and it will cover the cost of our picking them up.
Yes, sir.
So that's not a profit generator for Suburban if we're the ones picking up the abandoned. So I'm happy to hear that. At the same time, I also am still concerned about tow lot capacity. How well are we doing at turning those cars over as quickly as we can? Those abandons especially. We're pulling them in, holding them for the amount of time that we have to. Are we then turning them over, or are we finding ourselves holding them for months beyond what we need to?
That is a great question. We have to wait a minimum of 45 days
Right.
before we can auction it off. Right now, like said, we get about 20 to 25 cars a day. Majority of those are abandons that we do get stuck with.
Right.
We try and get them through as fast as enough. We do an auction once a month, usually about 160 cars, but we're full again in 10 days. So we're trying to get them out as fast as we can, and it's almost like a never-ending battle, to be honest.
Sure. It sounds to me, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds to me like what you're saying is, when you get to that 45 days, you're ready to get rid of them. So is it a safe bet that we're only holding cars for 50 or 60 days?
If they are not on hold and they
Right,
are able
exactly.
to,
I'm
yes.
talking- yeah, we can-
Yes, we will get them out as fast as we can, yes. After 45 days, it may be 50 days, depending
Sure.
on when they come, but.
We're in that 50 to 60 day range.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Great, that's encouraging. Thank you.
Councilman, I'm sorry.
As he was talking, I wasn't texting. I have some of Suburban's numbers. If I'm able to get them before we leave, I'll be happy to give them to you.
I can come out of the queue. My questions were answered. Thank you all.
You don't have a question anymore? Okay.
They answered them.
Councilwoman Bast?
I have a few questions. Is suburban officers sworn in? Is everyone sworn in? Or
No, ma'am. There are, the only sworn person in our entire unit is the lieutenant that manages the tow lot. Everyone else is civilian staff.
Okay. Why are the customers charged cash payments only? That's not true?
It's not cash only, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I
We
haven't.
take cash, debit card, credit card.
Yeah, I have not seen that happen.
Okay.
The only time.
I'm being told by several people that
You have to speak into the-
when they
I'm
show
sorry.
up, it's cash only is an option.
No, what that is if they pay cash, we ask for exact cash because we have very limited change on board. We take cash, debit card, credit card, we take company checks. It's not only cash, no. There are some times that we have credit card issues where we may have to go cash only for a couple of hours, but we do have all those other options, absolutely, we do.
Okay. So how does it work when, I guess Suburban, are they ever put in situations where officers are needed? I'm trying to get clarity. I'm new to
Yes.
to all this and trying to figure out, I was thinking that like the officers were all sworn in, so in the event things happen. So that's only the lieutenant, you said, would be a sworn in. So if they go into an area and it's a dangerous situation, do they just call for backup or?
At that point, I have not seen any experiences in my time, and I've been in this capacity for a year. I haven't seen a situation where Suburban has had interaction with the public like that, where it's been a negative interaction to the point to where, but they've been instructed, and the lieutenant there has spoken with the management there that they need to just pull out of that situation and just call for police. But we would give the same advice to any of our tow drivers as well. We wouldn't want them to engage in any kind of like trouble. We would just have an officer there. Oftentimes, if there is some kind of maybe suspected trouble, let's say we're recovering a stolen car, for instance, where we don't know if the person who just discarded the car is still on the scene. That officer's going to stay with the car so they're not going to just declare it stolen, request a tow, and then leave it. We would want that officer to stay with it just for that very reason, so that does not happen.
So say there's an accident and Suburban is called. Do they pay Suburban and then they also have to pay the city? Or is it one charge?
They being
Whoever's car it is.
Okay. No, there's just the one charge, and my understanding is just the one charge. The citizens they're not charged twice.
And if there are instances of proof of that happening, who would they take that to?
But proof of like being overcharged?
Double
or
charged
double
by
charged?
Suburban and by LMPD.
Then you have a couple of different resources. You could report that to the ethics tip line. You could call our tow lot yourself and speak to someone at our tow lot. 574 LMPD, like any of those
Okay.
outlets would get you there. Or you can go to our website and, if you want to do that anonymously or give your name and information, you can do it that way. You can go by PSU. There's a lot of different resources you could take to make that complaint.
Okay, and then one last quick question. How many other tow companies were in the bucket, basically, that Suburban won out of?
I believe 3 total offhand. It may have been 4, but there was more than just Suburban. It was maybe 3 or 4.
Okay, thank you.
I do have a couple of numbers. Where'd it go? Where my numbers go?
Councilman Liniger?
Before I ask my question, do we want to hear the numbers that the Lieutenant Colonel has pulled up that were asked for previously?
I was trying to answer that. If you can come back to me on that, and I just had it on, I had it up and I just lost it there, but I do have some numbers, so I can give you some context to the volume of tows.
Sure. So we've heard about the fees are set by ordinance, that it's similar between the lots. What about ancillary fees or policies about access to vehicle, jumping? Are the policies and ancillary fees that might be associated with those policies, are those identical between the two lots?
I can't, I have not seen like their policy and procedures at Suburban, so I can't honestly speak to that.
Because my understanding is it's a little more restrictive to
Okay.
get access to your vehicle. If your vehicle needs a jump, you are looking at some steep series of fees and things like that. So I would be curious how our policies compare and our citizens essentially having a greater burden when sent to the Suburban lot. So I would love to hear a follow up on that later. Thank you.
Okay.
Councilman Reed?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for coming. How is Suburban remunerated by the city? When I think of Suburban, they're a third-party contractor, right? So do they get paid by run? Do they get paid on a monthly fee? Do they only get remunerated by the vehicles that they sell? What is their fee structure?
My interpretation is just only the cars they sell. Do you know if anything else they get that?
The way that we know it is yes, they can get the fees off of it, and then they are paid per the car that they haul in. Whether it comes to us and is on hold, or if it goes to their lot, it's per car that they tow, yes. It's not like a monthly fee they get paid or anything like that. It's definitely per vehicle.
Okay, so they get that, and they also receive the money from sale of the vehicle, an auction or something like that?
Yes, sir, and they also will be reimbursed if they have to release a car without any charges, like in the case of the ordinance where, let's say, you're the victim of a stolen car and you're the victim of that crime, and they happen to, because not often, sometimes we might have a car may be impounded, and at the time they may, for whatever reason, maybe the report hasn't came in, or for different reasons, they might not realize that the car was stolen. Once it's determined that it is, and if it's there, then they'll release the car, and then they'll seek a reimbursement from us.
Okay. Who bears liability in the event that someone brings a legal action against the tow lot or the city in the event their vehicle that may or may not have been improperly impounded is damaged? I mean, would they bear that responsibility, or would that come back to the city?
Damaged, like in the process of having it towed?
Either in the process of having it towed or having it vandalized or something to that effect.
Yes, so we really I don't deal with the liability piece. That's something I would defer to, I would have to defer to our legal for any liability type questions.
Okay.
I only deal with the operation side.
So I personally find it problematic. You guys didn't write the contract, obviously, but I personally find it problematic that as a third party, basically supplier to the city, they represent the city, they're able to sell a vehicle and make money off of it. when in reality, to, the public, they don't know suburban from the city of Louisville. So we're all part of Louisville Metro. So in my view, if there's revenue to be made, we should be making the revenue. And that's the reason why I ask how they're being paid. If they're being paid by run, then they're already making money, right? So they should be already covering their cost. So just my own opinion is that I personally find that problematic. So anyway, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Connor Robinson, do your officers have the authority to decide whether or not a vehicle is towed?
Whether it's you said totaled?
If it's towed, if.
Oh, towed. Yes, ma'am. So the officer could use discretion if whether we tow something or not. For instance, if there's some place that you could safely, like clear a roadway and have the car taken off to like a shoulder or something and someone, sometimes we might have an accident and then the person, let's say they're not injured and they want to be able to take their car, they have their own private tow en route, they have AAA or something, then we would have but we don't want to just leave it there in the road because the AAA might be whatever time getting there. Then the officer would use some discretion. We would encourage them to use discretion in that case for that citizen.
If say there's a driver that has a passenger with them and got pulled over and had a warrant on them, and the officer arrested that driver, will they tow that car or let the passenger that is licensed, would they allow the licensed passenger to drive that car, or will they tow it?
So that would be one of those it depends type of answers. If they feel, if there's something that connects that car to that crime where the car itself might be, and there's evidence in the car that needs to be connected to that crime, the officer would have the authority to place an investigative hold on the car at that point.
Okay.
If he could just articulate, if any reasonable person could articulate that officer has completed whatever investigation he or she has and wouldn't have any need, then in that scenario, the expectation would be the officer could have the discretion to release it.
Okay. And what steps are being taken to make sure that the customer calls are answered and called back? I'm not going to go into an incident one of your employees shared with my office a few weeks ago, but it seems like the morale is pretty low. I don't know if it's understaffed, but I don't know if this is a reason why some of the people whose cars have been towed, that they're having a hard time getting response. So do you have a plan of action to make sure that I guess you would say customers, if they've been served or if they're being responded to?
So the plan of action would be, I have not, this is, you telling me that is, I mean, outside of outliers where someone may have not experienced the service they want, I have not experienced us having a pattern of people not getting called back or citizens not being called back. That's something that, I don't know if it necessarily would rise to my level, but we would start with the lieutenant that's on the tow light there, and then work up from there. Actually, we start with the supervisor, see if it's a supervisor problem. It might be some efficiency problem or what's causing it, and then we just work up from there.
Okay. So I can't let you leave today without asking some of these questions about what we're seeing in the media. And some of the things that I've seen is a little disturbing, and I know that I just feel like we need to be accountable for some of the actions that are taken or that are seen as taken on the toll lot. I know that there are times when, unfortunately, people can get access, the public can get access to some of the vehicles on the lot, and they commit criminal activities like stealing, what have you. But lately, it seems like it is your lot attendants that are committing these crimes. There's video of them committing these crimes. So if you can speak on it, I'd like to know, is there any disciplinary plans? Are these people still working for the toll lot? Or do they still have access to valuables? I saw a lady that on the news that bidded on a vehicle just because it had a canoe on it that she wanted. Then when it came through the auction, the canoe was gone. I mean, and then I'm hearing that they're saying, well, so-and-so said that we can come out here and get anything off of a car that we want. I don't know if that's part of the practice there. If so, and I trust that you will address it and get it resolved, but what are the consequences when you're caught stealing?
Just in the general sense of the word, or are you asking about something specifically?
In the general sense, if I work as a tow driver or a tow lot attendant, and you see me out there stealing a stereo out of a car, what are the consequences if I'm caught on camera stealing?
Yeah, I don't know, because we have ongoing investigations that wouldn't be appropriate for me to speak on them today. I think it would be inappropriate to talk about hypotheticals at the tow lot and draw any hypotheticals. I think that would be inappropriate. So I would err to say that anything ongoing would just be not appropriate for me to speak on. And I really would rather not do hypotheticals. If you have a specific something that, if you want to know just our regular practice, if we have a member of Louisville Metro Police Department that we have an alleged theft, then we're going to, we have a PIU, Public Integrity, and we have a PSU, Professional Standards Unit, that are stood up, and they're very capable of investigating any kind of allegations that we have any wrongdoing within the LMPD.
So I think you just answered the question. If allegedly I'm stealing, now they see me on camera stealing, but until there's an investigation, it's just allegations that I'm stealing. Until the investigations are completed.
Yes, so that's why I don't want to get into the hypotheticals. I answered, because I don't want to, in fairness to you and the rest of the council, like, I don't want to, I'm speaking just in a very generic sense of the word. I gave you just a hypothetical on an LMPD member. And we have PSU and PIU in place that we have stood up that handles investigations for the police department.
Okay.
But I'd rather not deal with hypotheticals. I think it's inappropriate too.
So you can't tell me if the thieves are still working there.
Working, yeah, anything that, again, yeah.
Gotcha. No pressures from me.
Okay, thank you.
I got too much respect for you.
I appreciate it.
Okay. So you can't even talk about the disciplinary plan of someone that is stealing or has stolen. You can't talk about that either.
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right. What deems a vehicle unusable to the point that it has to go to the scrap yard? Who makes that decision?
So that's done that's done collectively. It's done by, so before it gets to the auctioneer, the lot attendant would be involved in that scenario, the admin person. It's done like collectively by group up to the lieutenant. Oftentimes, that will include members of the executive staff in that discussion. Like, there's something that we feel like we could use within our own fleet. We could bring in some folks from our fleet coordinator is somebody, so it might be anywhere, but it's never just one person that will make that decision. It would be done collectively.
So this team that makes the decision, they said, hey, listen, this car is not drivable, usable, what have you, so then they take it to River Meadows, the scrap yard?
So before we deal with any scrapping or any kind of, back to that decision you're speaking on, the decision might come because the vehicle may have a lien on it. So even the condition of the vehicle aside, there might be a lien on that vehicle that wouldn't justify us taking on that vehicle because of the balance owed on it. It could have the title could not be a clean title, where it has like issues with the title that would make it like, make us unable to use it in that instance. Or let's say it has flood damage, where that title work came back with flood damage. So there's a myriad of factors that go into not taking it. So sometimes it just the condition of the vehicle is just irreparable. It might be something where it's damaged beyond repair, or the interior of it just it's too it's just, we're not able to justify putting money into it. Maybe the cost of a new car is less expensive than that. So, and then the last factor may be the type of vehicle that it is might be a strain on resources for repairs. Let's say it's a really high-end exotic car, that's a foreign car that our mechanics would have difficulty working on, our parts are super expensive. All those things would factor in.
Okay. Last thing I'm going to ask you, when you take these vehicles to the scrapyard, they're paying, the scrapyard is paying the city for these vehicles?
Yes.
Okay, okay. All right, well, it's you and I. Any other questions? All right, thank you so much for being here this
Yes, ma'am.
evening. Take care.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
This meeting has been adjourned.